his Morphling. He's going to try and do just that by taking down Yatoro's Faceless Void. But there's also some other notable heroes. I feel like we focused a lot on Yatoro in that last game for a good reason. He had a monster performance, but there's also some other big ones here for TSpirit. I'm looking at that Morphling Enchantress, man. I feel like this is Enchantress and Chens, they are really scary in this current meta, even if we don't see them all the time. We saw the way that Chen worked for Gaming Gladiators, and Morphling is going to try and make that Enchantress work for the laning phase.
Enchantress is a hero both these teams really highly value and contest. It's a hero that's been banned against Gaming a lot, so they opted to take it away here. It's also a hero that can deal pretty well with Primal Beast in those mid games with the Enchant ruining his charge in. I don't know, when I saw that Ench come out, it gave them the tempo they needed with a Magnus opener to feel really good about it, so they just don't fall behind too much on the lanes. And a quick little body block to push it under the tower here to try and secure the equilibrium. Very heads-up play. Dyrachyo read it, got a block of his own, and it will end up outside the tower. So nice heads-up play by Dyrachyo to counteract that, as they're going to start 3 top. Maybe looking for a cheeky kill on the Furion, who's TP'd up here.
Yeah, that would actually be an interesting idea, but they quickly abandoned that. Celery waves goodbye to the Enchantress as Morphling heads back down to that bottom lane, which is going to be Ace and Tofu in the Muerta plus Wraith King, the double undead hero against the Faceless Void of Yatoro. And then Enchantress.
A very deadly lane as well. We've seen a lot of like the Wraith King Dark Willow come back. That was a classic couple TIs ago. Wraith King Muerta equally as strong. You get the insta-stun in into dead shot, pushes you back in, your attacks because you can't fight, skeletons are hitting you. Very high kill threat on this lane. A lot of pushing power if you start to run away with it. So this is an off lane for Gaming. They want to go very well. They want Ace to drive the tempo and the objective control of the game, which is something he didn't get to do last time because TSpirit brought the game parade to him, right? So that's a big question as well. Do Spirit decide to commit the same resources into shutting Ace down this time around? And does that just inadvertently free up more room for Dyrachyo on a hero that I feel like has a better time this game than the Gyro did in that last one? Just a stronger hero in the meta, and
there it is.
Decent matchups, and yep, already on the board.
Yeah, you said this combo is deadly. Any sort of 4 position that can output some good damage off that Rayfire Blast. You gotta be careful if you're a support in lane. Gaming Gladiators will find the opening kill.
And this early game is going to be a question for Gaming in terms of how much they get out of it, because they have the Fear TP to accelerate the lane ganks. They have a Primal Beast who can just gobble up runes, gank side lanes very early. He is the king of it. Maybe not a hero we've seen Quinn play a lot, but one he has practiced very well in pubs recently and is very comfortable on. So this could be an incredibly fast early game just in terms of the gank potential, not necessarily just taking your towers, which is also a reason if that Wraith King lane goes really well for Gaming, it's a lane they can easily rotate to. Because again, the kill threat is so damn high.
Come on, Spice!
Heal too much, and now they're going to turn back around with the Nature's Attendants leveled up. Ace will take a bit of damage as he heads back in, but Yatoro doesn't want to miss his CS. Right now, lanes are going pretty well for, despite that early first blood. We got Pango taking the top spot on the CS chart. Shot.
Raw can do this. It was kind of a quiet Pango game last time around, right? I think Quinn was struggling to find his openings, and this is a hero you can get to play your tempo game to control the runes combat, where Quinn wants to go with the Primal Beast. You can definitely turn some of those ganks around. I think that's what Laurel's looking for, more than being the aggressor, right? I think him just going in these lanes is going to be difficult because you don't have a lot of damage involved, but if Gaming overextend, dive you under one of these side lane tier 1s, then suddenly the Pango can come in with a counter gank and the Vulcan Thunder and turn things around. You're really happy with that type of gameplay here. Because again, you're farming it up. You got Magnus Faceless Void. You know Gaming are going to go into you.
This is a hard duo to match up against. You throw that Inkswell on the Magnus. He pulls you closer with the Shockwave. You get hit by the stun, and then that stun leads into a free skewer back. So even underneath your tower, you are not safe.
And the Grimshark could be really nice this game as well. Just throwing it on these cores that want to jump in, get the extra, debuff them out, reset the fight or the primal. These types of interactions could help them take the team fights in the mid game when they're likely going to be behind a little bit in terms of experience. Because even are pulling a decent position out in terms of the laning phase here. Doing pretty well on their cores in terms of CS.
He gave him the Harpy. That's going to make a big difference in this bottom lane. Gonna die now, but does some decent economic damage. He's got a small little hellbear to work with too.
And it's also just time. Yatoro gets to sit down here versus a lane that eventually will kick him out. Amping up the pressure here. Has a little bit of an XP advantage, pushing this triple ranged wave in. I mean, it's pretty rare you get 3 range creeps being pushed into the tower. Laurel will clean it all up. No roam coming in early here. Just way too high on the HP to make it look enticing. And of course, these side lanes, right up to the game plan. Dilt is just going to go for it.
Here comes a rotation though. Mira gives him the ink swell underneath the tower, but he stops him midway through the charge, and Quinn, caught underneath the tower, will die.
Sometimes greed is good, and sometimes you get punished for it. Mira happy to counter that. Push Laurel ahead in the XP. Now you're going to have a Rolling Thunder.
Oh, what a sprout! Collapse, cut down a tree, but he was still stuck on the corner there. Did have some stick charges to work with, though, and so he will survive for now. They wanted to be able to punish the fact that Mira had to TP into that mid lane, but couldn't quite finish the job.
It's a game about pressure. Every time one of these supports makes a move, you need to create the pressure somewhere else. The enemy just can't clump on. You get the numbers. Yatoro gets put back into the silence.
Oh, he time locks up. Now he's still kind of in a sticky spot here. Gaming Gladiators are going to try and run him down. Look at him throw the blood grenade, but he'll make the difference. He's going to show up with that Rolling Thunder. Do manage to finish him up with the 2 supports, but Laurel, he'll be collecting some heads here.
Even the Wolf gets the hits in.
Stuck there on the corner, but that's okay. The Swashbuckle will finish the job.
A lot of XP going into the Pango and the Ench down here. Yatoro, a little sad he died there and doesn't get it for himself, but I mean, that's sometimes the life of a Faceless Void versus a lineup that is going to press you, is going to go for that kill. And if it was a lot cleaner, maybe you can just walk that off. But here they get the rotation in. Suddenly, these Pangos having a terrific game off of that in the turnaround mid. Those are those counter turns that Laurel's looking for. Yep, force the Wraith King in, force this Morphling into an aggressive situation. Maybe Quinn dives you, and that's when you get the strike here. Arcane Rune picked up for Quinn. This is a really nice rune on the hero.
TC pops it here to try and deal with Mira. The silence is going to last a while. Can he get it? Yes! Quinn, very fast with the trigger there. Does manage to get him. Collapse going to try and dissuade Quinn of that notion. And he does manage to do so successfully, keeping him off his support.
And the quelling, saving Mira at the end from the sprout, so value pickup already for him. Arcane Rune's still in the bottle, so Quinn can still look for a rotation off this, and he probably wants to. I mean, his early game is getting a little slow here, and you have threat on the side lanes, right? This is where the Primal Beast strikes really hard, really fast, gets momentum going for the team. That's your theoretical ideal. Shove in mid, make the move. The room. There's a Furion.
There's always the opportunity of the Celery to try and make a move, but I feel like the teams have been really good at protecting their Wisdom Runes against invasions, particularly against the Nature's Prophet. More times than not, it seems like Nature's Prophet tries to make that kind of move. He just walks into a trap.
Just a hard gamble. You use your teleport for that, you're dead on the map for 60 seconds. Chances to get it should be minimal. FTI Grand Final, I want to say.
Good D-ward there. That'll help because Quinn wants to be able to make moves, particularly with this Arcane Rune, which he's going to put to use now on a mid-shield crash. So that ability no longer there with the 2 support rotations. It's easy to kill Laurel.
Exactly what they're looking for. Combine the calling dead shot with this Primal Beast. Anybody goes down to it at this point. This is where you want to ramp up the speed. Marketing the map in a position where you can just guarantee the power runes for Quinn and get the connections going and hopefully lead to like jungle invasion, right? Because the one thing you have to think about with the Magnus is the stacks. And if their carry just gets to sit in triangle and double ancients and clear through them at that point in time, the earlier you take down these tier 1s, the earlier you get aggressive obs out, the happier you're going to be when that period comes. Another power rune should be secure from Quinn here.
Oh, these runes are getting a little crazy. Oh, that skewer plays against Collapse as he does a ton of damage onto himself thanks to the trample from Quinn. Blocked out by his own Sprout, though. He's going to try and get to the other side of this cliff. Laurel does hop down to chase after him, though.
Laurel showing the power of a non-real hero in his hands as he will take that rune away from Quinn. No haste. I mean, that's one of those situations you almost rather take the haste rune. It's so damn good on your hero. Collapse will suicide himself to take Quinn out in the process.
Have to be careful with those skewers against the Primal Beast. Kind of movement could be deadly.
Look at this. Just a quick rotation from the supports. Power of Enchantress. Early creep takes down 2/3 of this tier 1 mid.
Yeah.
Didn't even feel like that was a real move, but they still got a lot of this tier 1 tower damage out from it. Once again, it's Gaiman responding to some early objective pressure. The whole time this is happening, it's also space on the side lanes, which means Yatoro got to catch up a bit. He's not the one getting ganked or killed by the calling here. Very happy with that. Ace not able to force him off lane yet. However, Gaiman doing a bit of stacking of their own. And maybe that's something they took out of that game 1, right? Like, you go in game 1, you try and run Spirit over. Instead, they run you over. Okay, This is not a team we're going to beat in 20 minutes. Not a team we're going to beat in 25. Maybe we go back to some of our other tricks, other things up our sleeve, like the efficiency on the map. Yeah, this is a team that is stacked their whole way through the season. Going back to it now when it matters.
And a particular strength of Western Europe in general. So I love those DPC matches throughout the year. Stacking was a big factor for all of those teams. Ace does have the reincarnation here, but it looks like TSpirit want to try and burn it away from him. The Skeletons will push back, though, while Brother does chased away.
Brother against brother here. Whose Skeletons are better?
Right now, it's going to be Quinn trying to jump in, but immediately stopped by Laurel. Once again, with the counter initiation, Quinn's trying to get out of here, but he's going to be caught. The Inkswell plus the Sans is going to try and trample his way over the left-hand side. And he is slowed down, pulled back in by Collapse, though. Oh, and a Chronosphere actually locking away these two other cores right in front of the tower. Seller's trying to stop him now as they turn back around onto Ace, trying to finish him up. There goes that reincarnation. Doraggio doesn't have much mana to work with, and on the fresh light, Ace is going to be pulled back underneath that tower again, just like Quinn. They're in trouble. Now Doraggio's under this one as well, surrounded by 5 heroes. He's going to start desperately morphing into strength and try and wait for him over to the left-hand side, but with all of this damage, he just cannot get far enough away. Gaming Gladiators will lose all 3 of their cores, and that attempt to fight at bottom lane.
That is the danger of making an aggressive Pangolier. Grimstroke, the turnaround potential is just so damn high, and time dilation absolutely ruined Doraggio as he goes in that engagement, gets time dilated, can't do anything for the rest of the fight. Of course, Quinn, he ate the big ult. Still trying to make something happen this early game with a very aggressive mid that can do it, but he's just struggling. Feels a bit too tanky for him to bring down alone, and the combinations, they haven't been exactly on point for gaming. This will give a really nice bump to Laurel, who is just beasting on these early game fights. It's going to be a very fast Pangolier Diffusal in this game. And these are some heroes that are susceptible to mana burn, right? You're looking at 2 strength cores and a Morphling that also doesn't like his mana getting burned with an early Diffusal. Back to clearing some stacks, and net worth still looking pretty good for gaming, but the fights are just not going their way.
Particularly when you know the Wraith King wants to rush this Radiance as quick as possible, which means an Ag Shard, he really doesn't want to buy that until at least after the Radiance. There's definitely a timing here where this Pango could punish Ace heavily.
Especially since it's just done. This is 11:30 Arcane Boots Diffusal. This is crazy fast. In a game where they maybe expected Laurel to not have the freest time. Up against the Primal Beast with a Furion who can rotate.
They're supposed to shut him out early, win that lane, and then later on to the game, as a Primal Beast, you could just BKB and grab the Rolling Thunder ball and stop it immediately, right?
Look what's waiting for him. Some good old stacks for the mag lineup. This is another downside of gaming not securing those early team play wins. You can't invade enemy side of the map this early, and Laurel's just going to clear through it all. Diffusal going to help him. So big right now. He's got a shield room to boot. So they're going to be looking to take a fight. It's also going to be the blink timing for Collapse. He's going to finish this off the stack. Just rush it out here. Look for a big blink RP skewer on a core. Continue to slow the pace down here. Gotcha. You're going to be happy to use their ult for big core kills. So the question on gaming side is, what do you do when those ults are on cooldown, right? How much can you get off the map? How much can you push the lanes and look for kills? Quinn once more looking for something to get his game going here. Just can't find anything.
Good read by Maposhka, dipping away into the trees. They're out of sight from Quinn. That's going to be yet another rotation that fails. One way or another, Gaming Gladiators, whether it's running into a 5-stack of TSpirit and they lose the fight, or the smoke's just not working out for them, so much of their early aggression with this Primal Beast has been completely stymied, and now TSpirit are sitting in a pretty happy position, I would say. The net worth is dead even. But it does feel like TSpirit have answered Gaming Gladiators and all the moves they wanted to make early.
I mean, there's a lot of Magnus teams over the history, and I think all of them will say, if you are even at the 15-minute mark with a mag lineup, you're winning the game. Like, you're happy because you know this game is going to get extended. You're going to outfarm the enemy. You're going to theory outscale them. Now, a lot can happen in those fights. This lineup from gaming can scale very hard. We see Primal Beast go very deep. Later game.
One stun, they get the fall of silence.
Of course,
too many heroes.
That can also happen.
Yeah, this is the move the Gaming Gladiators. They were play off this, being able to get numbers movement, right? Like the Primal Beast and the Nature's Prophet offer so much mobility around the map. They should be able to outnumber TSpirit and find openings like that.
It's what Celery wants to do for sure. Every time you get one of these pickoffs with the Fear on, you get to farm their side of the map. You get deep wards up. It's going to set up for your next play, and then your economy is just going to explode. And you get some extra items on this Fury, and he can control the fight. The Ag's very good this game with the root and disarm, right? This is a great Fury on Ag's game. Yeah, the Nature's going to do some mad work here. If he can get anything else to help his team survive in the Chrono, in the RP, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and you continue to shove these waves in as well. You're continuing to play this game slow, continue to farm up Laurel with their power going to work. That is a successful move for Gaming in a period where Collapse didn't really find that opening with the blink. Settle for some farm.
Find an interesting note, there's just no hand of Midas in this game. Wraith King, Faceless Void, both heroes that have bought it throughout this tournament sometimes, but feels like as the tournament's gone on, particularly probably because the way the Gaming Gladiators has stomped through some games, there are teams who've been a bit wary about picking up that greedy item.
I mean, Midas is a crutch item. Midas is an item for, you know, the bottom 14. Not really a grand finals item. You know, if you're worthy of a true Pantheon, you don't need the extra TP. You're going to collect it off your enemies here.
That is what
can do that. Still trying to find something with this blink, or maybe he's just happy empowering his other cores and letting them take the bulk of the net worth. Yatoro still pretty much untouched during this period. He's just going Mask Madness into Maelstrom, power on top of it. This Void is going to keep up in farm, even with a Radiant Skeleton. Am I allowed to say that? Farming up the entire map. He will match him.
Oh, Laurel is essentially there to grab him. Mira can stop some of this though. Throws out his silence, thinks well. Oh, so much burst damage though. Celery hit him big with that one. He got up the shield crash though.
No way.
And those shields are keeping him alive. They need a bit more damage, but now he's TPing away. Goodbye.
Where are you watching? Zed.
Oh no, Gaming Gladiators gotta feel so bad about that. A pickup on Laurel, the highest net worth in this game, would have been a dream opening for them. And that was one of the few openings you'll have against this guy because he is closing in on the Lincolns fast.
It's not crisp enough. Laurel walks it off. I think he even misclicked his swashbuckle there.
Ratio on the edge of the Chronosphere. Now that's an idea. TSpirit say, oh, used all those resources bottom lane, huh? It'd be a shame if your carry got picked up, wouldn't it?
A heavy cost indeed to missing this gank. And Laurel just plays with his food, and they're going to put those ults to use on Ratio every time. Anytime you can just collect a Morphling in this game, you're super happy about it. Yatoro will just continue to farm. Says, give me the freebie and back to the jungle. It's coming down to ace right now, right? I mean, it feels like it comes down to ace in a lot of games, but
yeah,
particularly right now, he's the strongest hero on the map. He can create the pressure. He can do things like this where he just solo create an opportunity. We're going to find both supports.
Ace
will walk it off.
He's got to back away. He showed so many heroes up there killing Maposhka earlier. Maposhka, again, continuing to play very aggressively. I mean, the Treant Protector, he was on Gaming Gladiator side of the map all the time because he was invisible, but this Enchantress seems to have a similar game plan. He's going to be playing up in Gaming Gladiator's face, and that does, even if it costs him a death every once in a while, it does create information and space for his core.
Particularly when the Chrono and the RP are down.
Yeah. This
is where Gaming can pretty much run the gambit of the map, choose which objective they want, and claim it for free. There's no way you're fighting them without those big ults off cooldown. Without Collapse being stronger, Skewer on Skewer play. You're coming with me.
Skewer up into the TP point from Quinn. Collapse, as long as he keeps the damage on him, he's not going to be able to blink away, and Quinn will finish the job. Great move from Ratio. Those are the kind of plays you need to see here. You want to be able to take down the best team at this tournament. You need to be able to pull off some solo moves like that.
Create the pressure that's going to create openings elsewhere. And suddenly Ratio, this stolen in power is pretty damn nice. He can throw it on the Wraith King, he can throw it on the Primal, especially bonus damage on Primal. Quinn is going to be very happy with that. And that's something we can see in a lot of these fights. It's probably going to be the best steal for Ratio outside of maybe time dilation thrown back against TSpirit, or just creating his own Grimstroke combination.
Precious bounty.
These are good Morphling combos being used for the fights and the team. Starting to pick up the pace.
Instantly silenced and a beautiful soul bind, and now it swelled up. Pinball coming through straight to the heart of Gaming Gladiators. Ratio's already burned down most of his mana. Pops his wand, but Ratio, he needs to be able to get away from both Laurel and Yatoro, and he's been burned out. No chance there. Gaming Gladiators still have a chance though to be able to fight back around Ace and his Radiance, but without their carry, it's not looking great as Ace is going to be burned out of his first life. Can they fight around the second one? Quinn's sticking around. They certainly don't want to be giving up Ace like this. Here's shot back.
Coming up in 2 seconds here. Yeah, Yatoro says, my cooldown's back. Can push this. Just not enough reach.
Not necessary, really, for TSpirit, right? No reason to give them an opportunity like that. You can stretch out, claim all of this map space you've just fought for, and farm away.
Now, I do think this late game is not 100% right. We're talking about Mag Void. It is very powerful. You're going to get some pickoffs like this for sure, and then Power is going to clean up the map. But there's like some weird things that can happen with Raid King Ags. There's some weird things that happen if Dyrachyo gets a free angle in the fight and can like clean up the backline with Morphling first, and Power himself, Grimstroke Swell himself.
Yep. It's going to be tier 1 down in the bottom lane as Laurel marches forward confidently with his Linkens, because what's really going to catch him? It feels like he's most of the time going to have a chance to be able to escape if Gaming Gladiators ever try and jump him here.
There's a really fast Linkens as well. This is Mag Pango in its prime. A hero that is not afraid to fight off cool.
They're really going to try the Tormentor right in front of Gaming Gladiators' base. That is crazy, but they just did it. 4 heroes, that's all they needed. Meanwhile, Celery being gone on by Yatoro. He just gets a bit of a poke, gets a reaction out of Gaming Gladiators. Ace will try and punish him, but
there's no follow-up.
Yeah, he needs a lot more. Celery's going to try and chase up. The TPs are coming in here, tries to block him out with the Sprout, but Yatoro is running free. Dyrachyo chases after him, hits him with a time dilation, but it is a very good move from Dyrachyo, but he gets it. He gets that kill, though, turns back around on the collapse. Oh, RP'd right in front of that tier 2, but silenced up just in the nick of time before his skewer comes through.
He wants more.
Yeah, he does. He sees the opportunity. What a beautiful entrance from Dyrachyo into this game.
That is the power of stolen time dilation plus the time walk, right? Infinite chase potential. Suddenly, Faceless Void can't do the same back, and Dyrachyo says, 2 can play at that game, Yatoro. I can get aggressive too and make it work. Just creates an opening out of nothing there off a chase that felt, you know, like, what is Ace doing here? He's wasting his time? Not at all. Everything coming together, gonna propel Celery up that board as well. Imagine you have that Ag's Wrath of Nature here, right? Suddenly chases like this become a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
And Yatoro, he's just still looking for that big dispel item. His choice will be Manta first over the BKB, but until that's out, Dyrachyo has a decent opening in these fights, and you got the RP out.
Yeah, it actually just leads Gaming Gladiators into more opportunities, perhaps.
That Ags. Finish for Celery if he can fly it out.
Okay.
That is something that can bounce through, lock these heroes down. Great more openings for the Raid King Primal to just get in there and set up line. Second Tormentor will go TSpirit's way with the Shard.
So now they've got Shard on both of their supports. That's pretty funny. I think that the Mira 1 Grimstroke, that's so much better for them. Heart Dispel to be able to help save this Pango or this Faceless Void when they need it most. But maybe there's just too much firepower some of these times. As you can see from Gaming Gladiators, when their cores start linking up, and they're picking up the pace now. Dyrachyo, he's just swarming forward, seeing if there's anybody else to be able to catch deep on TSpirit's side of the map. And this is the part where TSpirit needs to be able to slow down the game. The momentum is beginning to play against them.
This sort of map becomes difficult. You have Skeleton jumping in one wave, you have Wrath of Nature pushing all the lanes. The Morphling's not afraid to show right now. He has Manta Illusions on top of it. And the Primal, he's in the fog. It creates a scary situation with the pickoff potential. They're just getting more information than TSpirit right now. There are still very deep Observer wards that Approach got out, but you can't really get there and use them. They're not scouting anything right now as he's on top of him.
That Shard is pretty helpful when it comes to the Sprouts, but may not save him from this as he's going to be surrounded. He'll create a little bit more time, a bit more space. In fact, he's going to go for the TP away, and there it is. Okay, they do manage to stop that. That would have hurt Gaming Gladiators a lot if they let get away from that.
Solid space. Sure is what he'll say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time to try and get to the Dispel item on Yatoro, as Collapse will finish Harpoon. So he can't really deal with time dilation in the fight if it comes out. This is a very aggressive item. He can lock people down, guarantee the skewer better. If the fight starts on him, it could backfire. Quinn's still working towards that heart. So Gaiman looking for the next big damage items that are going to let them ramp this game up. And of course, Ace still sitting top and pretty here. He's the big objective driver, so he decides that they need to force tier 2, go for Roshan, where they want to fight and how. It's up to Ace right now as he is the front line. calling for a smoke, looking for some kind of pickoff here.
They get the right kind of opening. They could translate this into a quick Roche take.
Exactly. They're looking at the corner of the map, so anybody that dives down here, Yatoro's instantly going to go in the pick. You might just do it anyway.
Yeah. Gaming Gladiators say they look inside, see if it's actually Gaming who's taking that Roche on. That's going to be pretty tough to deal with Yatoro with that charge jumping around with Inkswell on top of him. So even if you catch him midway through his time walk and stop him from leaping back into play, there is that Dispel that can come out.
That's why you want to create a situation where he has to choose between Chrono in the front line and the Heart Primal or the Wraith King with 2 lives.
If they make this move fast enough, it could be massive for Gaming Gladiators. They have a double damage in Morphling's bottle, and they can get to this fight in time. TSpirit may get wiped and lose the Roshan fight, and they are not doing this fast enough. Gaming Gladiators are going to get here, and it looks like TSpirit have made the right read. They're going to smoke, backing themselves away. See if they can find the opening on Gaming Gladiators.
Quinn has that vision.
It's the board. On the high ground, BKB immediately goes out. Now he has to turn and chase, but he's not going to be close enough. TSpirit got something big out of him. They do hit him all. That's going to be able to hit all those heroes. The RP goes back to lock down the 2 heroes. They jump into the RP. He's going to have to do all the damage from here on out, but the Rolling Thunder is dangerous. It slows him down with the matches, and the Rolling Thunder hits, and there's no chance. And now they leave Quinn. Yeah, trap him inside that Chronosphere. His BKB is gone. Get the rest. Oh, it's Gaming Gladiators who had an opportunity there to be able to upset, but now just what they feared the most, which was losing a fight and giving the Roshan to TSpirit. That may have just occurred.
It's going to switch the sides, so they're going to have to run up top. They might not have enough time before Gaming respond. I mean, you got to remember, they can TP this entire outpost up here as well if they still have on cooldown. Damn, what a heads-up RP from Collapse. That is a team fight salvaging RP as the Wrath of Nature just got them all on the backside, and Dilation was thrown out early here. So right there, it goes on Quinn, but that opens the fight for Dyrachyo by a decent margin. I don't know. I mean, he just RP'd him. There's no way around it.
Yeah, they only had one stun to work with. Dyrachyo just makes a complete misread of the situation there.
He just thought the stun was going to latch and be longer, but there's a lot of bailout here. And the second that goes wrong on the Morphling, this fight's just completely over. Yatoro is going to clean house. You cannot give too many of these openings. The upside, though, like we said, is Roshan switch sides, and the respawn timers were not too long here. So Dire side going to work for Gaming as they come back into this map and stall out the Roche a second time. I think you just man up for it here because you know RP and Chrono are on cooldown.
Yeah, 100%. In TSpirit, I mean, it would be a pretty bold move to try and take this fight without their ultimates.
No, they're just looking for the pickoff. Not going to find it, clear the wave, but this contest, it's all on Laurel with the Rolling Thunder. Maybe they can take the fight afterwards.
He's thinking about going in with the Inkswell. He tries to jump in, see if they can get the skewer pickoff. No such luck. Gaming Gladiators retreat very defensively after claiming that Aegis. They know TSpirit are bold enough to make a move like that. They respect it. Now back away. Dyrachyo will try and get his farm into the Silver Edge, which is a great way to be able to find some of those backline heroes. I mean, I think that Grimstroke is a big problem for them.
It is. The Link and the Dispel off the Swell are both really nice here, especially when you just throw the Cell onto the Faceless Void or the Magnus. They get a free jump, and if they get stunned, you just bail them out, right? I think we're going to see that the whole game. It's going to make sure that both Collapse and Yatoro can hold their BKBs or the Manta for as long as they want here, and Mira can bail them out. Of course, you can also just throw it on the Pango and let him roll in.
Yeah, speaking of Pango, his item timing was definitely delayed quite a bit, but he's finally going to get there. He got that Linken's a while ago, but the Aghanim Scepter that he was looking for next will finally be complete.
Hurricane Spike from Apochka, so the damage starting to heat up here for Spirit as they're going to spread it across 4 effective cores going into this late game. That is why they love the Enchantress. Apochka is going to start to cause his own mischief in the fight. And that pushes the question back to Gaming in terms of how are you scaling in this game, right? Because right now you have an Aegis, you have a Morphling pushing towards Silver Edge. Aegis just hit his BKB timing here. And the Heart is a couple hundred off from Quinn, so you have some really strong fighting items coming out all in the same interval here for Gaming. You would really like a good team fight out of this, especially if the Chrono or the RP gets wasted. Or if you trade an Aegis for it, you might be okay with that in the long run. You can at least find something on the backside. Because right now, you're looking at Yatoro. He has a Manta. That's it. He did not go for a BKB on the Faceless Void this game. He's just hyping up the damage here, abusing the fact he has Empower. Going to go for a later Linken Sphere. And it will be collapsed with that BKB. It's a question of who do you want to start on? Maybe the Silver Edge is going to give Dyrachyo the option to put his aggression to use and just start on a support, start on a core. Give the vision for a Wraith King jump. Vision means everything here. Gladiators as they try and take these next few fights.
Yeah, which means Maposhka is a particular nuisance to them, as he once again leads forward, just using the creep to be able to find information. They got the heartbeat. Skewer back. Now he does have BKB. Locked down on the RP, but maybe the damage is going to be enough. It's going to be close ball. Quinn starts walking away. Celery's going to jump in with the Wrath of Nature. Soon coming out. He tries to use the Overseal Totem to get away from the Rolling Thunder while they jump forward on Duraccio. They want to get something out of this. They see an opportunity, surely, but they couldn't actually grab anybody, just lacking the disables.
Hurricane posing problems for Duraccio as well. You just can't see anything to hit. TSpirit able to disengage after that Wrath of Nature rooted them all, which means Yatoro wants to go back.
He's got an opening here. Looks for it with the Chronosphere. They were so grouped up on Gaming Gladiators, but he doesn't have the vision. He's dumping Glad. Disabled. They actually have that enemy. The calling goes out. He's on the other side. He actually gets away. Thanks, well, Time Walk undoes so much of the damage. And now Gaming Gladiators have to play it a little bit slow. Have to respect that Soulbind. They cleanse themselves of the ghost. That silence is now gone. The Soulbind is away. Yatoro, he's still waiting for his opportunity to get that call. Got three. Down 2, 3, 1 in the back, 2 in the front, and that's going to be the Aegis down for the Morphling, a second life for both him and Ace, though. And Yatoro fight through this one. Is he going to be able to get away? The shotgun room, the entangle as well. That's enough. They bring down the carry. Now for the rest, TSpirit. Playing back into this one, the Ace well. Now Skewer locking them together. Oh, maybe he can fight this one out. Duraccio waveforms over it, trying to separate from his team a little bit. Make sure this walk puzzle doesn't absolutely decimate them like it does Tofu. Right in the back lines, Ace trying to chase down the long one. He's out, but Duraccio dies. And Snarl, he does manage to finish him off just on the very tip. Just enough to be able to get that kill before he falls. Collapse tries to skewer away, but locked down by Quinn in the end.
Cannot escape the inevitable, which is just too many lives on the side of the game. And a buyback from Celery gets another Wrath of Nature through. That fight lasted so damn long. And of course, you had the Aegis on Duraccio, the Reincarn on Ace, and Quinn just abusing this heart regen on the backside of that fight. The Chrono was absolutely beautiful.
If you'd say buyback on Celery, 3 lives. Yeah. Gaming Gladiators just brought more numbers than TSpirit could possibly even dream of.
It's like an 8 on 5 here, right? Yeah. So you kill 3 or 2.5 of the Chrono, you're going to take Ace on the other side, and they're all coming back. I mean, that's exactly what you want to use this Aegis and Reincarnation for. Create a situation where you set the fight up towards the end, the ultra on cooldown, and you just get an even man fight. And that is when Duraccio can start to clean house. This Morphling, he does some serious DPS, but damn were those 8 swells off problem. They were catching so many heroes. Collapse gets to survive the entire fight, just right-clicking people the entire time. And I thought Varl was maybe going to carry the end of this. Tango is doing so much DPS.
Yeah. But I mean, him and Collapse, I think, saved so much of this fight, because if Duraccio managed to live through it, then who knows how much damage they do while TSpirit is dead. But the fact that Morphling is gone, there goes a decent amount of their pushing power and threat for the high ground. Instead, it's the Furion and the Skeletons that push out.
It'll be Ace who collects it, and this Wraith King is just turning into a straight carry right now. This is not even a bad carry matchup versus the Faces Void. Yeah. You have help to do it. It's just going to be an AC for Ace here. Shard to boot, so you cannot mana burn him out, and he's going to be a problem. He's going to deal enough damage, create enough threat that you're going to have to think about it first, or at least maybe skewer him in deep, take him out for free, and think about when you commit the Chrono or the RP, because it's not so straightforward anymore. You can play off some Pangolier posts, but damage in the front lines coming through for Gaiman right now, and a lot of it does come down to Duraccio. How does he find the angle into the fight? Who does he start on? Does he get caught in those ultimates? Because this Morphling is still incredibly susceptible to time dilation post Manta, susceptible to just getting ulted without that morph going out. If that happens, so much of your DPS goes out the window. Suddenly that long fight is no longer favorable for you.
It's so wild to me how much Yatoro trusts his team in this situation. I feel like so many other carries, especially carries in this tournament, would have gone for a BKB to help protect themselves, but he seems to just fully trust that Mira is going to be able to back him up, right?
I mean, you think Yatoro, God, he's going to buy a BKB. Haven't been watching this man.
He's going to go for Scotty up next, which is going to make him very tanky. Gaming Gladiators may not let him get to this. He's moved very, very far forward here.
That Radiance turned off for Ace. They're not showing too much on these waves.
They wanted something so badly out of that. They used double scans to try and find some sort of pickoff, but they're left with nothing. TSpirit holding around their tier 2.
I saw something on that ward. They'll counter smoke it instead. They're missing the Scotty from Yatoro. Big item versus Morphling. He's happy to fight without it. Koreans see nothing. How closely were you looking at the body blocks here? They just depend on it, as they will bypass the vision mechanisms. Level 20 for Yatoro. He has chrono attack speed here, plus this full Mjolnir. You get caught in this chrono, it's a very different story than the last fight. How much room are you willing to give up right now?
Charge, they spot Celery. Chronosphere on the two of them. So he's going to bring down the support first. Nice use of the dead shot there. That'll make sure Ace doesn't get punished too much. But Chronosphere for a 5 position. I don't think Gaming Gladiators mind that too much, as long as they don't lose control of the Roshan pit during this window.
The upside is that buyback's still on cooldown for Celery. So they know they're getting the 4v5 out of that if they take down the Furion first. There's no way you're committing for the Wraith King there. A dead shot will prevent it anyway. Another quick pickoff for Yatoro. More gold into his pocket. We'll finish up the Scotty.
Now, what about this next part of this matchup? The Wraith King versus the Faceless Void, especially this Wraith King off lane, always going to be going the Aghanim Scepter at some point in time. That Aghanim Scepter is pretty interesting against the burst that Yatoro wants to be able to deploy, right? He wants to Chronosphere, make sure that there's one hero or maybe two that gets no impact in fight, just like it looks like Quinn. Oh, he barely gets off that, but he is going to be slowed down as soon as the BKB is worn away. The time dilation kicks into play, and yeah, TSpirit has got him.
Just good vision on the map. Once it's set up for this kill, and just as he was pushing towards that Aghanim Scepter, you're talking about the Wraith King, as the Primal Axe will also play a big part in these fights, just breaking these heroes down, removing some of the passives, letting them get easy kills on things like the Enchantress, removing some of the time lock on the Faceless Void. Any extra bit you can gain an advantage for Duracho in these man fights is going to be nice, but I mean, the Wraith King Axe is great versus the ults. It's just a question of can you do anything with like the concept you have afterwards, right? Duracho going to man up.
They're going to jump onto the Faceless Void, see if they can burst him down. Once again, there's the Ace Well Harvest spell. Time one, and it tests, collapse, turns around, gets that RP on the two of them, locking down Duracho and finishing him off. And now Ace is going to come back into this with not much support. With no Quinn, they knew they had the numbers advantage, and they take the fight to Gaming Gladiators no matter the cost. Gets to jump away. Force Staff helps him out, but it's not far enough. There is nowhere you can go. The collapsing Yatoro cannot follow.
That is a very bold move. When your Primal is dead, he's so much of your damage, so much of your burst damage. I mean, again, they're very close to bursting Yatoro, but the man knows his limits. Elvin to the
Tofu!
Yeah!
A shot from downtown claims the life of Yatoro.
Just as I caster curse the hell out of him, he gets shot down. Well, the man knows his limits, but I guess not every limit in Dota. The Tormentors are new, we'll cut him some slack, but what a find from Tofu. Just claims it all there, and now the Tormentor did go to Radiant, so they get the kill on Yatoro. Collapse gets the shard. That's a 1,500 gold kill.
Yeah, that's the final shard, by the way. TSpirit at 36 minutes in have all the shards for their team because they've claimed every single Tormentor. This is crazy.
Of course, the chrono was off cooldown, so you're gonna have some downtime for Yatoro where you would have liked to have been up on the map and used it. Surprised it burst it all hard. He must have like time lock hit the Tormentor. I mean, at least he can laugh it off here because there's nothing else you can do.
Back in the game though, they still don't have Ace. They're still looking forward with this smoke. They're hesitant
out Yatoro?
Yeah, this is, I'm surprised Gaming Gladiators, they're surprised that they're even out here. What is their hell? They're just going to put it on the high ground. Oh, he doesn't have a TP. Where are you? Quinn! He's going to be able to get a force shaft down to the low ground, but that was an opportunity to get the pickoff, and instead it's collapse who finds the pickoff. Another Ogre Shield coming for Accelerate, trying to keep him alive. But back in, hold the swashbuckle, just barely outside of the range there, and they do it.
Yatoro's
back into it. Duracho will be the first one down. Quinn, he has BKB, can he get it off? No, too many stuns.
This damage is ramped up so damn fast.
Oh, collapse got him on the Inkswell.
Yatoro says, you had your fun, you had your cliff walk, but I'm here to clean it up.
And Ace trying to get away desperately. Blink is up. He will get out. Yes. Oh, they got a scan on him.
Yeah, turn that radiance off, son. You need to get the hell out of there.
You gotta hide. You gotta hide. You can't be farming right now. There's that shard. Collapse pulls him back in a little bit. No harpoon just yet, though. So he couldn't get him any further.
Yatoro knows what he wants right now, and that is an Aegis. That is a Roshan fight the gaming could have just committed to. It's also a fight that 30 seconds of it had no Yatoro. They couldn't find anything. They found an edge off of double dive between the Morphling and the Primal Beast, and that's it. TSpirit is way too good at fighting these fights out, not giving you an opening. That Hurricane fight did some serious work. Sent Quinn back to NA with his pal RGZ stuck up there. But what else are you supposed to do? You have to find the openings. You have to dive. You only had 20 seconds without Yatoro. None of it went your way. And now it's going to be the Aegis into his pocket. A cheese on the back. And I guess everybody can buy BKB at some point. It'll be his next item here at last to seal the deal.
He really wanted to save that double damage rune for Laurel or for Yatoro, but little Treant will deny them that opportunity. Still though, TSpirit got to feel very good about this next 4 minutes. They've been winning a lot of team fights lately, and with an extra life on Yatoro, he's already been very aggressive, leading a lot of the charges for TSpirit, giving information to Collapse to follow it up. And the second life, I feel like there's nothing to stop this man.
No. You get caught in the corner, you're gone. Yeah, that's it. Even if you're morphing, I mean, who cares, right? The second you come out of it, you're basically dead. Zags from Celery can only do so much, and suddenly the lanes are not getting pushed in as deep as they once were because this Empower is just going to work on these cores. They're just mopping it up. At this point, the Skeletons and the Treants are just extra gold into their pocket. Looking at 440 CS for Yatoro right now. Cleaning up these lanes. 5 for Laurel, by the way, who's been swapped up, and it feels like the entire map. Still being a tremendous game here on the Pangolier. He is. Look at the difference in the last hits, man. That is what Empower does. That's what an early Master Madness Ailstorm does. Also, all these summons going down the lanes. It's inflated a bit, but now Miro with an Ags. This is a great Dark Portrait game, right? And these Soulbinds have been landing. There's not a lot to block them. You get the Rage Team, get that aura going back. It's a great illusion. You get the Morphling. You're going to put a house on the back line. So suddenly, the scale from TSpirit starting to pick up the pace on their supports. These are scary ones.
RP straight up in the top lane. He got caught trying to hit that tier 2. You can get nothing for free against TSpirit. Collapse denies Dyrachyo that opportunity. Dyrachyo compliments on the initiation, but the damage is done. Gaming Gladiators, without their carry for 70 seconds, there's going to be some serious damage coming their way.
That just feels like a move it's based on pressure, right? You feel like this game is looking away from them. You feel like the scale is going to be insurmountable. Dyrachyo trying to make something happen on the map and find a tier 2. Instead, he will pay the price only for an RP in exchange, which is going to be up pretty much when he's back up. How much do you want to push with this Aegis right now? Level 25 on the Faceless Void already. Already has the backtrack talent. Just going to make that burst even harder. And Yatoro says, this is enough farming. I want to end this game. I want to end it now. How much do you have to take the fight on your high ground?
Look at them. They're just trying to catch whatever they can in the side lanes because, well, you don't have a carry, so there's not much point in acting like you're going to defend this mid lane.
You have to use Ace's strength. You have to find a way to use this Rage King Ags and the Radiance Burn. Get something going in the fight over the long duration. That is where the Pangolier shines. I mean, Laurel hasn't even had to jump in aggressively yet. He's just playing behind his other cores. Yeah, you have free lane of racks here. There we go for number 2. Dyrachyo, 3 seconds on the spawn. Butterfly completed for Yatoro now. No MKB in sight. You're going to have to do this the hard way. Just charge in and hope it goes your direction.
Checking it out, seeing who's TPing in. Yatoro with the Linkins. He's got an extra life. He's got a BKB in his backpack for that second life. And he's got an opportunity from Collapse. Hold Celery out of position. Dyrachyo going to try and use that Faceless Void form to be able to help out Blood. The corner here goes to Morph. You know, they're not actually grabbing the real one. Pyro is still up, and he finishes off the Morphling so easily. Now the RP against the other 2 cores. TSpirit so clean. The extra ghosts come out from the Wraith King, but he doesn't really do anything. Ace just pops BKB on the second life. They do get another pick here on his Celery. He tries to jump forward. They've got nothing left in the tank on Gaming Gladiators. They are all going to fall. They're going to throw their damage around. The Chiefs actually getting popped. Collapse got a little bit low, but into the foul wall goes. A rampage, maybe a double. No, Tofu's going to deny him that. They're going to call the GG. And Les pulled back in.
No, this one is
a second rampage to finally close it up.
I mean, why not add to his total, right? This is the player with the most rampages in a single TI run in history.